And here we are. It's another episode of What's Happening at Liam's Cards and Games. Well, I'll tell you what's happening today. Of course, I am your host, Sean Nathan Ricks, the creator of the iMagi card game. And what's happening today? I'm going to show you guys how to play iMagi, give you a brief overview of it, and then I'm going to let you know that these cards over here and these packs right here are today or tomorrow going to be loaded onto the website so that you can buy, and you can help me get more cards out to you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. First of all, iMagi plays different from any other card game out there. Literally different. The benefit of that is I never played any of the other card games, so I was not already thinking down the lines of how to play Magic, how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, how to play Pokemon. So when I sat down and I wrote a novel and then I created the card game, I had a completely original idea. So let's get started. Now, in the beginning, you can end up playing with either 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 players. That's right. You can have a total of 7 players playing the game instead of just 2. Now that means that when you go head to head to head to head, you have an awful lot of sniping going on, and that's where the fun comes in, because I'll tell you this. Whoa! We just hit the camera. I'll tell you this. You need very, very strong relationships to be able to play this game. Why? Because the amount of trash talking that's going to go on, you will probably, if you're married to that individual, well, you won't be married long. I ought to know. I've been through 2 divorces. They were great. They're still great. They're awful. I can't believe it. All right, moving on. So, at the beginning of the game, every player is going to draw 5 cards from their draw pile, not their discard pile, their draw pile. Now, a question you may ask is, why don't you have mats? We do have mats, but guess what? We sold out of them here, and I don't have any more here. So we're going to be ordering some in, and they are custom mats with all of the necessary things. What are the necessary things? Cool artwork. Why is it cool artwork? Well, because I have 10 different artists working with me, 2 of whom were former Dungeons and Dragons artists, and some of whom have even worked for some of the high-end card games, which we cannot mention. All right, so at the beginning, everybody draws 5 cards. So we're going to draw our 5 cards here. Now, what you want to do is we'll just go ahead and pick this up, and we're going to read the back for you. From the second iMagi novel, our hero Bjorn meets Thor in his realm. Thor explains that Loki tricked him into destroying his realm. It has been split into the separate elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Be the first to rebuild the kingdom of Thor. Well, that's what you're doing here, is you're rebuilding the kingdom of Thor. So, instead of trying to take points away from someone, you're trying to get points by making sets of cards. Now, you can go, when you're only playing against 2 or 3 people, you should go to 3 points, maybe even 4. But if you're going against 4 or more people, like, 4, 5, 6, 7, you want to end up going to maybe only 2 points. The reason being, it'll be a really long game trying to get to the 3 points. And definitely never go to the 4 points with that. So, first thing we're going to look at, we're going to take a look. Now, this is vitally important. The very first thing you need to do in order to rebuild the kingdom of Thor is you have to be grounded. That means that you're looking for either an Earth Basic card, an Earth Advanced card, or you're looking for some kind of a card that will allow you to draw for an Earth card. In this case, we don't have it. That means that for my turn, this would be a dead hand. It sucks to start that way, but that would come on over here. Okay, now if that's a dead hand, it goes to the next player, and the next player, and the next player, and they're all trying to get started by putting down an Earth. Now, do you have to constantly put down an Earth first? No, you don't. You only have to do it your first turn of the game. Now, do you have to do it for each set of points? No, you don't. The first and only the first play. So, we're going to pretend that all of the other players went. We're going to draw 5 more cards here. Here we go. We're going to take a look at them, and lucky us, we got a couple of different things. We have here an Earth Basic card. That would allow us to play that down. We also have a hybrid Earth Air card. Now, just in case you were wondering, the way that these things go down, it would be Earth, Air, Fire, Water, and Spirit. Earth, Air, Fire, Water, and Spirit. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play our Earth card, and we're going to play our Fire card, and we're going to play our Hybrid card. This instant interrupt, we're going to save that card because that can ruin your opponent's day. But this one, the Northern Lights In, which just happens to be a scene that's inside the novel, that is a protection card. We're going to play that right there. It's going to protect 2 element stacks. Now, we currently have 2 element stacks because we've got an Earth, Air, and we have an Earth. So we've got 2, count them, 2 element stacks. And then it's the end of our turn. What we're going to do is draw to a total of 5 cards. So we already had 1. We're going to draw to a total of 5. That's 4. Now, we're going to take a look. Your opponent plays a card where he's trying to really ruin your day. You've instantly interrupted it. Instantly stop your opponent from playing a card and draw 1 extra card. That means that when they did that, you were able to instantly interrupt outside of your turn with a planet called Switzerland. That's this card right here. So we're going to go ahead and discard that now because generally every card only has 1 play unless it states otherwise on the card, where it states you can end up keeping it in play. Very important. This is your field right here. Earth, Air, Fire, Water, Spirit. This is where you will play all of your elements or your protection. This up here is your action area. So you would play, if we had the mat here, it would show you the actions. Now, we're going to take a look at a couple more. We've got a Water Basic, an Earth Basic. That's right, you can nest them. We have a Spirit Advanced. Now, a Spirit Advanced is a great card because what that would do is it would allow you to play this as an element, which would be Spirit right over here. And it has the added extra benefit of being able to destroy your opponent's card. Then, of course, we'd play this wonderful one here. If you do not have this card in your deck, you need to get this in your deck. This is the Bitter Cup of Kings, a Darkness of the Void card. Force an opponent to discard their entire hand, and then discard this card after use. Now, one of the most important things to know is you can only draw at the end of your turn. So if they have to discard their hand and it gets back to their turn, they don't have any cards to play, so they have to draw, and that's the end of their turn. They lose a turn. Now, a couple of things for the flavor text. The void awaits us all. All things must be returned to the chaos as they sprang forth. Even the great kings of earth and air cannot escape its bitter cup. Bitter Cup of Kings. So we play that in the action. Really completely destroys our opponent. They get super angry. We've got this extra card because we were able to draw 1 extra one. We can either keep this in hand and interrupt someone, or we can choose to use it. In this case, we're going to discard 1 card from hand or in play to play Dutch Clouds, which is a draw 2 cards, so you get to draw 2 cards. Search your draw pile for 2 cards of any kind. We're going to set that down, and then we're going to search our draw pile. Now, we know that we've got an Earth, Air, Fire, Water, and Spirit already, but we want to get a couple of extras. We're going to throw down 1 more Hybrid right there, and we'll throw down another Fire, and that's it. That's all we can do with that. Kind of shuffle it back up, put it there, discard this card, and guess what? We now have 1 point. We've got an Earth, Air, Fire, Water, and Spirit. That is 1 point. So, the tokens that we have, you'd end up moving and putting a token on your 1 point, which is over here. And then you also have a banish area up here. So, draw, discard, field, action area, points, banish. Okay, that is the basics of how to play the game. Now that you know the basics of how to play the game, let's take a look at some of the really fun cards that are in here. And that's where we're going to move over to what's over here in this stack right here. We're going to move these all nicely sleeved up because we are not heathens. We will move that over. We're going to move these cards out. Now, very important, these right here, these are your starter decks. A starter deck is 55 cards. Now, a competition deck is 65 cards. Can you play with just a starter deck of 55 cards? Absolutely you can. But when you get an expansion deck, that gives you the opportunity to search for some pretty spectacular cards, such as what's right here. And those expansion decks, I don't actually have one here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to run out there real quick and grab one and bring it back in here real quick. And of course, we're back. Okay, let's talk about these. So, generally, your expansion packs are these. Now, there's 18 cards in here. These 18 cards, you're guaranteed to have rare or unique cards in here. And that's something that's important. The top of every card is going to tell you whether it's a common, uncommon, rare, unique, or it'll be a 36er where there's only 36 that card made, or it'll be a 17 and it's numbered in the corner, just like this one right here. But before we get to it, let's talk about these. Mystery packs, 18 cards. Themed expansion packs, the Krakens and Cthulhu and the Archangels. Now, these are available in person and they will also be listed. So, we'll put those off to the side. Put everything else here off to the side. And we're going to talk to you about some specialty cards that are going up on the Liam's Cards and Games website. So what we've got right here, this is a card by the artist Rob Carlos. Now, Rob Carlos taught you what dragons look like. This happens to be a 17 card. It is number 15 of 17, Master of Fire. Right here, we have another Master of Fire. This is number 16 of 17. The rest of these cards are gone. These are the last two of these. They're $20 each card. That's a great price because I've already had some people who have turned around and sold some 17s for $500 and $600. So they're definitely worth it at $20. Number 16 of 17, Master of Fire. What does Master of Fire do? Master of Fire has no cost to play, force all opponents to discard all fire cards in play and in their hand. That's Master of Fire. Well, what comes next? Well, how about Master of Earth? Same kind of play, but what have we got here? We've got number 15 and number 16. Okay, number 15 and number 16, we'll put those to the side. Those are also Rob Carlos. And then we have the Monolith of the Ancients. Now, Monolith of the Ancients, this was painted by me. That's right. The entire reason I started the card game is I wanted a place to put my art and get it out to the world. So I created a card game. Who knew the card game would end up being more popular than the original paintings? But just in case you really do like those original paintings, there are some for sale right here at Liam's Cards and Games. Now you'll notice this is a 36er. That means there's only 36 of these cards. That's it. 36 and that's it. Now, this card that is 36, there are about 10 of them that are here. So you can buy 10 of these, and they are only $5 a piece. Now we get on to another one. This is the Legendary Dragons. This card is a unique card. It says it right along the top, unique. And this card is Dragon Island, Legendary Dragons. Sacrifice 2 of any card in play or in your hand to bring Dragon Island into play. Search your draw and or discard pile for any dragon and play immediately without cost. That's any dragons. Sorry, it's plural. Which means if you've built a dragon deck, you can pull out all of your dragons and completely ruin and destroy your opponent's day. That's a $3 card. Okay? Multi-element card, Dutch Elements. Choose an opponent. Roll a 1 die 20. If you win, draw one of each earth, air, and water basic. If your opponent wins, they choose one basic element card that you must discard. As the player who plays the card, you get 2 chances to roll. That's right, that's a $3 card. And here's another Monolith of the Ancients. Advanced Protection of the Elements. If any Protect the Element card is in play, add this card to play in cooperation to protect all your element stacks for 1 round. This card was painted by the esteemed Jeff Sturgeon. That is someone that you should really look up. Jeff Sturgeon. You'll be able to find this on the website. Moving on. Okay. Elite Con card created at RadCon 2023. I get paid regularly to go to these different conventions, and I speak at these conventions because I wrote a book, I'm an author, I'm an artist, and I have a card game, and I love being at them. I love mixing it up with people. I have my original paintings for sale at these things. I also got to create this painting at RadCon, and this is Odin's Mini Golf Course Hole Number 9. It is an Elite Con card. There's only 36 made. Sacrifice 2 basic element cards to bring to play. Force all opponents to discard every air and earth card in play. Banish after use. So this one would go right up here when you were playing, into your banish slot. Next, another $20 card. This one is Dave the Knight Errant. Now, we've got quite a few of the Dave the Knight Errants. I brought a lot of them here for Tyler. And the ones we've got are number 5 of 17, 9 of 17, 10 of 17, 11 of 17, 12 of 17, 14 of 17, and 16 of 17. That's right, we don't have all of them because a lot of them are already gone. We're going to go ahead and move that over. And then this one's very special, and that's my artwork on that one, as well as my artwork on this one. This is the Game of Chance, number 9 of 17. That's right, only 17 of them made, and this one's number 9. This is my artwork. Desert Sorceress. If any of your opponents have 2 earth in play, you may draw 3 of any element, or roll a 1 die 20 and have your opponent roll a 1 die 20. Highest roll wins and may draw 6 cards of any kind. Great card to play. Very rare. All right. Now, that's been the episode of what's happening at Liam's Cards and Games today. I do want to give you an idea of what some of the dragon cards looks like. So we're just going to search through our deck for some dragon cards. Oh, Messenger of the Gods. Not a dragon card, but an important one to have. Okay, let's see here. I know they're in here. Ooh, Eldritch Swamp Witch. This one. Fan your discard pile face down in front of an opponent. Your opponent chooses 5 cards, play 3, and discard the remaining 2. And then discard that card after play. But we wanted to look for dragons, right? So you search your deck, and you're going to find your dragons. They're going to pop up for you, right? Got to be getting close, because I know they're in here. Let's see, where did we go with dragons? There's one. O'Malley the Red. Where's another one? Come on, where'd you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? There we go. Macintosh. Oh, this deck is the one that's really slippery. I'm going to put it over there. We only have a few cards left, so it's got to have our other one there. And Casablanca. Now, you remember me telling you about that card that you could search for any of your dragons and bring them out at no cost? Well, these cards will absolutely destroy your opponent's day. For one thing, each one of them allows you to either destroy an element stack or destroy certain cards. For instance, Casablanca, you sacrifice 1 element card or play the Dragon's Island card that's in there. Then you don't have to sacrifice anything. And it allows Casablanca to destroy 3 of any opponent's cards in play. Continue sacrificing 1 basic per turn to keep in play. Your opponent may sacrifice 2 cards in play to destroy and send to your discard pile. Now, this is important. This is one of those that I was telling you about when you have the opportunity to set it up here and keep it in play and constantly smack your opponents, however many you've got. Spread the love around if you've got 6 of them on there. Or if you've got someone who's absolutely been picking on you the entire time and you're not happy with them, ruin their day over and over and make it so they can't win. Okay, and that's that one. Let's move these other 2 out of the way for just a moment. And then we have O'Malley the Red. Sacrifice 1 element card to bring O'Malley into play. O'Malley destroys all of one opponent's element stack. Continue sacrificing 1 basic per turn to keep in play. Opponent may sacrifice 3 cards in play to destroy and send to your discard pile. Now, it takes 5 to get rid of Macintosh. It takes 2 to get rid of Casablanca, and it takes 3 to get rid of O'Malley. These 3 cards, all being played at the same time, because you happen to have Dragon Island, which lets you search to get them, whether they were in your discard or over in your draw pile, this is a killer combination right here. And they're dragons wearing hats. I mean, who wouldn't like to have those cards? There you go. That is an overview. So, again, you'll be able to very shortly purchase the mystery packs so that you can start trying to chase some cards. You'll be able to purchase the expansion decks, the starter decks, and these happen to be artist proof. These were part of the Kickstarter. There were only 250 of these decks. After that, the words artist proof don't appear on any of them. So if you want to collect them, these are the ones to get. These, the starter decks, $24.99. The expansion decks, $14.99. You can absolutely have a great deck with one expansion deck and one starter deck together, you have 18 cards and 55 cards. You only need 65. That gives you the opportunity to really search through your deck. So, make sure you reach out to us. And if you want to get any of these themed expansion decks like the Krakens and Cthulhu or the Archangels, let's do that as well. And as always, I have been your host, Sean Nathan Ricks, the creator of the iMagi card game and the novel, which is coming out in April of 2024. And it's been my pleasure here for this episode of What's Happening at Liam's Cards and Games.